Hi cuties, my name is Hanako Kozumi and this is the channel Nerdy Nekoma. Everything here is about Haikyuu chat stories and fanfic. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. And with that, welcome to today's video. In other words, the top scat 6/enjoy part 3. Today's video features KyoHaba and OsaSuna. Those of you who have seen my previous video of the Nightmare series already know that something is up with the last one, like with a lot of these ships. I'm excited. What do you think? We start with lots of fluff and then go straight into the angst. Good luck. Have you ever had struggles finding good Haikyuu merch or anime merch in general? Because I for sure did. It can be hard. But this shop offers amazing merch. Like, I'm literally obsessed with the Haikyuu merch. They have the cutest hoodies ever. Now, if you want to get 10% off, click the link in the description. They offer me a collaboration, which is literally amazing. And you support my channel this way. So, win-win. Let's go. KyoHaba flinched when Kiyotani suddenly started sneezing beside him. It took him off guard. More so because his sneeze was kinda cute. It didn't fit into this whole grumpy dog vibe he was usually giving off. What? The setter looked at him with wide puppy eyes, and it was honestly freaking him out. Your sneeze is cute, like a kitten. What? Also, the way you shake your head is adorable. What was happening? He felt a sudden warmth rise to his cheeks, and sure enough, looked like a tomato in less than a minute. I'm not adorable. He rolled his eyes, but had to sneeze again, which apparently didn't help his case, since KyoHaba was still looking at him with this stupid, love-struck expression. It's not cute. He avoided eye contact. He wanted to hate this, but the problem was KyoHaba. The way he looked at him like he was precious, and with those damn puppy eyes, he was the one looking absolutely adorable. It made Kiyotani's heart skip a beat. That, or the cough that suddenly shook his body. Slowly, KyoHaba's expression shifted to concern. He got up to rub his back in hopes it would ease the sudden coughing fit. How are you feeling? I'm fine. That didn't sound fine. KyoHaba looked at him sternly, an expression Kiyotani absolutely disliked because it usually meant he did something stupid and was about to get scolded. If you're sick, you need to rest. He placed a hand on his forehead to feel for his temperature and examined him more closely. Kiyotani was still a bit flustered, but didn't have the heart to shove him away. Not when KyoHaba had this concerned expression. He worried about him, which was still a miracle to the spiker, and when he knew how good the gentle care felt the setter provided. You should probably lay back down. If I would have to guess, I'd say it's just a cold from the pool water. It's not like we had towels there. His brows furrowed, and Kiyotani could see his lips curling slightly. This was the first time he saw the other mad about what happened. Even though he had every reason to be before, he was mostly scared or dismissive, annoyed at the poor planning at worst. But the spiker knew this expression. KyoHaba was mad, and he couldn't pinpoint what invoked this sudden change. Go to bed. I'll make you tea. It's not that bad. It's just a cold. But KyoHaba wouldn't hear any of it. We have a training match next week, and since the 3rd graders won't be there next year, coach wants to mainly let the 2nd and 1st years play to get an idea of what the new Seijo team will look like. In other words, if you're not back on track by then, I'll kick your butt. So much of the theory of a caring KyoHaba. Kiyotani grumbled under his breath while dragging himself back to bed. There was not really a point in arguing, probably because he was right, but the spiker wasn't ready to accept that just yet. Just a few minutes of laying around in boredom, internally debating with KyoHaba and himself, the real-life version of his boyfriend entered the room with a cup of tea in hand, as well as some medication. He placed both on the nightstand before crawling into bed beside him. Surprised, Kiyotani looked at the other who snuggled up to his chest. Considering he was sick, this wasn't exactly the most responsible thing to do. Don't you dare get me sick. Huh? You're the one snuggling up to me. And no kisses. Kiyotani rolled his eyes. You just want to cuddle. The setter didn't reply and instead snuggled closer with a sigh, closing his eyes. God, this wasn't fair. Why did he have to look this cute? What are you looking at? The silver-haired twin appeared behind Suna, taking his hand and following his gaze. It was a Friday evening. Atsumu was already on his way to Tokyo to visit his boyfriend, and also used the chance to escape from his dramatic exit as well as the blabbering of anticipation and Sumu gushing over Sakusa by taking Suna out on a date at one of the local cafes. It was nice. They both weren't the most expressive when it came to their emotions, so the simple, soft smile on Suna's lips when he invited him already meant the world to him. It's raining. Osamu nodded. Yeah, I guess it is. We still have to walk home. Suna didn't look too keen on getting wet, which made the other chuckle as he pulled an umbrella from his backpack. Suna rolled his eyes. Always so considerate. He laughed again. You're not really complaining about that, are you? The middle blocker said nothing and just reached for his hand again, leading them both outside of the cozy building, careful not to leave the protective shield against the rain the umbrella offered. They walked in comfortable silence together while the city around them disappeared under the increasingly thicker veil of water pouring from the sky like buckets being emptied over their heads. It was almost beautiful to see, if it weren't so uncomfortable. With the wind increasing, the umbrella became more and more useless, and by the time they reached the crosswalk near their home, they were almost drenched to the bone. The blue light was nearly completely disguised by the waterfalls, just strong enough to signal that it was safe to go. At least, it was supposed to be. There was a disgusting screeching to the right, and Osamu saw the car just in time to throw himself and Suna out of the way. He landed painfully on the pavement, Osamu towering protectively over the other. A sharp pain pierced through his head as Suna came back to his senses. He was gone for just a second, but this second changed everything. He wasn't standing beside Osamu anymore, complaining about the weather, when a car suddenly sped toward them, failing to hit the brakes in time. By now, he was laying on the rough floor, with multiple scratches littered over his skin and an aching pain where his head collided with the ground. Above him lay Osamu. He held himself up with his palms, which upon closer inspection were bloody from where they touched the ground, scratched open by the rough pavement, as not to put his entire weight on Suna. The middle blocker was breathing heavily as adrenaline flooded his system. His gaze fell on the car. It had crashed into a pole and the traffic lights seconds after they had passed. None of them got hit, thanks to Osamu's quick reflexes, which got both of them out of death's sight. He was still hovering over him as if he tried to protect him, but the danger was over. Samu? He tried to gain his attention and reach for his face, when suddenly it scrunched up in pain. A choked cry escaped his throat as he pressed his lips together to stop it and suppress the coughing that followed. Suna froze in shock as the first drops of a suspiciously red liquid hit his face. Blood. Why was he? He looked around, panicked yet unable to move. Samu? He cried. What was happening? What was wrong? Suddenly, Osamu's arms gave out on him. He collapsed onto Suna. That's when he felt it. Cold, sharp metal scratching over his skin. His eyes widened in horror as he looked down. Blood was oozing from Osamu's stomach, tainting their clothes and the ground beneath them in its vicious red. There in his stomach was a long metal paste. It had pierced straight through the skin and flesh. There, somewhere in the distance, he heard someone screaming. For a moment, hope flickered inside him before he realized it was his own scream. It felt all so surreal, unreal, and far, far away. This couldn't be happening. It wasn't real. It was a lie. It had to be. Samu. The pain in his head flared up, and he was overcome with nausea. If from the sight of blood, his injury, or the literal metal piece sticking out of his boyfriend, he didn't know. All he knew was that he was panicking, that he needed to call help, but he didn't know if he could. His hands searched the pocket of his jacket, careful not to move Osamu. Cold fingers closed around the metal of his phone, and he could all but pray that it was still working. It did. The blood on his fingers and his blurry sight, blurred by a mixture of tears and rain, made it hard to navigate through the menu, but somehow he managed to call the emergency number. What is your emergency? Please, help him. I can't. Please. Okay, sir, I need you to stay calm and tell me where you are. I don't know. He cried. This was supposed to be a familiar environment to him, his hometown. But right now, under the layers of rain and tainted with blood, it looked all strange to him. Is there anything familiar around you? A street sign or a recognizable landmark? There was one, but he couldn't read it. I can't read it. Okay, we'll try to find you by tracking your location. Can you move? No. What happened? We walked home and then a car crashed. He didn't even know what he was saying. and just hope that the bits and pieces of information he did get through were useful. Okay, try to hold still. Were you part of the crash? Did you collide with a car? No, not really. How many people are injured? 3, maybe more. Osamu was breathing heavily. He didn't know if that should make him panic or if he should be thankful that he was still breathing at all. Are you injured? Yes, but my partner... It was at that moment that Osamu went limp in his arms and it felt as though an ice-cold fist closed around his heart. He couldn't breathe anymore, let alone speak. Sir, can you hear me? Please answer if you can hear me. He could, but he couldn't answer. His eyes were glued to Osamu's lifeless face. The ambulance will arrive soon. Please try and talk to me. No. Please help him. Help him. I need you to stay calm. No. Help him. He felt himself getting dizzy again. Saw the darkness at the seams closing in, but all he could focus on was Osamu. Please, save him. Somewhere in the distance, the sound of sirens joined the dark of the emergency operator, but he was already too far gone to acknowledge it as something good. All he felt was his headache increasing, and the cold creeping into his bones. The darkness slowly took him, pulled him deeper and deeper into a cold, dark void. This was okay. If Osamu wasn't there anymore, then the world was nothing but a dark void. At least, he wouldn't find anything in this abyss that would remind him of Osamu and the pain that undoubtedly would accompany it. Suna. He blinked against blinding light and awfully bright walls. His head hurt, and it took him a while to remember where he was. As soon as he did, he sat up abruptly, causing the pain to flare up. His whole body felt sore, but he didn't care. Suna, you should stay in bed. Kita gently but firmly attempted to guide him back down. No. Osamu. Where is Osamu? In the ICU. He isn't exactly stable yet, but he is alive. He was breathing heavily, but the tension in his body subsided as he collapsed in Kita's arms. The captain gently tucked him back into bed. What are you doing here? Coincidence. I was visiting Aaron. It was luck. This way I could identify you two when the ambulance brought you here. Aaron? Don't worry about that now. He's going to be alright, just like you. Suna gulped, noticing that he deliberately left out Osamu. Kita never lied. It made no sense to him. In other words, there was no guarantee that Osamu would survive the night. Tears stung in his eyes, but he fought them. He was here now. There was nothing more they could do but hope and pray to any deity that would be willing to listen. Where are my parents? They weren't able to reach them yet. Not much of a surprise there. Samu's... his father is in his room, and his mother is currently on a very difficult phone call with Atsumu. Guilt overcame him. He almost forgot about that, about Atsumu. He already knew he wouldn't take it well. Atsumu promised not to leave him. He was always there for separation anxiety. If Atsumu would break his promise now, it might damage Atsumu's trust beyond repair. See, you can't leave. You can't. Choked cries echoed through the room, too quiet to express the pain within him. Atsumu would never forgive you if he couldn't say it. He couldn't say anything anymore. Thank you all for watching to the end. I hope you liked it. I know it was kinda angsty, but I promise another part for like the whole OsaSuna audio, along with Sakuratsu. So yeah, I don't know when I will upload that, but I'm working on it. I hope you're excited for that, because I surely am, and also I feel like I shouldn't leave this open-ended otherwise. Well, if you liked it, consider leaving a like, because it really helps my channel grow, and if you don't want to miss out on anything in the future, consider subscribing, and now I hope you have a wonderful and amazing day.